Making sure your listing is properly written for the country that you're selling in is super important. Our next guest, Jana Krekic, is a specialist in translating. Her and her team can translate your listing from English to multiple other languages or from German into English. So especially if you're not a native English speaker, you can actually give her the information in your native tongue and she can translate it into English for you to make sure it's really well written English. Or vice versa, if you're selling in the US and you want to expand to Germany, the way you write it is crucial. I mean, certain words don't translate right. And if you're just using Google Translate or something like that, it's just not gonna sound right, and people are gonna notice it in the other country, and it's gonna take some of the shine off of your listing. So she's here to talk about translations and some of the things you need to keep in mind when you're translating your listing or your sales copy or your photos or your customer service emails from one country or one marketplace to another marketplace. So Jana, welcome, and I'm excited to have you here, and the floor is all yours.
Hey everyone, my name is Jana and I'm the owner of Wildly Translations. Today I will be teaching about international marketplaces and how to translate your listings into sales and never leave money on the table again when it comes to international selling. So let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about four very important aspects. The first one is human versus machine translation, and this is something that is often neglected and not considered about. Number two, new marketplaces. I'm going to tell you which marketplaces are new and hot and which you should definitely explore. Number three, localization, something that is very often overseen and not given enough importance. And number four, keywords, some strategies and some tips that you could use using Helium 10. So let's start with the first one, with the human versus machine translation. If we take this product, for instance, the purple shampoo for blonde hair, and you translate it, let's say with a regular translator from Fiverr or anybody else that just a regular translator, this is how the text would look like, right? So the text will correspond the source text, and there will be nothing added to it, very little localization, and no keywords. Keywords are the most important thing, and keywords are what gonna sell your product. When compared to machine translation, there are some differences between human translation and machine translation because machine translation can often cause your product to sound like a lot of mumbo jumbo. When it comes to optimized translation with keywords, you can clearly see that there are differences. So, optimized translation with keywords compared to both machine and human translation is going to be different than the original text because you have to insert the keywords which actually trigger sales and they will make your product pop up when the sellers search for this search term. So basically, whatever you're doing, Amazon optimized translation with keywords, that target text should not correspond a lot with the source text. There should be a lot of optimization, meaning keywords, a lot of localization. You'll have to localize your listings. I'll talk about that in just a bit. But you should not get 100% original text as you would get with human translator and with Google Translate, definitely. When it comes to human translations, and if you want to hire a regular translator, you have to tell them that they have to somehow do the keyword research. Don't hire a translator, just have it translated the text as it is, because it will not get you results that you are supposed to have. Also, when talking about translations in different languages, I think the best example is to have like an English example on the left and on the right the optimized one. So the English example on the left would be, let's say, your regular translator doing a regular text for you and translation without any keywords and optimization. And on the right, there will be something which is done properly, optimized with keywords and giving it a full potential to reach its goal on the target marketplace. When it comes to Google Translate, it can damage a lot your listings, and I've come across so many different listings that are so bad. Like for instance, this one. This is an Italian marketplace, and this bikini actually says that this is a bathing suit for fat women. So the client used grasso, which means fat, instead of plus size. So you definitely don't want to offend your audience. Second of all, this is a bronze razor. And what they did is they actually put some keywords in the title, but the second keyword here, Rasenmäher, here we can see it, it actually has a double meaning. And when you type this word in Amazon, you're going to get a lawnmower. So unless you want to rank for lawnmowers, you really have to do your homework when it comes to keywords. New marketplaces are quite interesting topic, and now more than ever, Amazon has been pushing people into selling internationally. When it comes to like the old marketplaces that we all know about, those are Germany, UK, France, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, and outside of Europe we have Japan, Mexico, and Canada. Now in Europe, the biggest marketplace is Germany, and I like to call it a five-star marketplace because I didn't know if you knew this, but you will get access to all other countries that don't have Amazon. Their audience gets redirected and they have to buy from German Amazon. So you get access to much more than just German audience. When it comes to rising stars in Europe, we have newest marketplaces, which are Sweden, Poland, and Turkey, which I'll be talking about in just a second. And we have UAE, which is a quite popular marketplace outside of, definitely outside of Europe. We've seen a great deal of sellers going to Japan, having amazing results. But for Japan, you have to have a really specific product. What I would always suggest is unfortunately, there are no specific tools that will help you in product research, but you can always go to Facebook expat groups and ask them, would you buy my product? Because from my experience, what works in Japan would probably not work on all other marketplaces. Let's talk a little bit about Amazon UAE, which is quite interesting. So Amazon UAE actually, you would want to target expats here in this marketplace because a lot of people are here sent for their jobs, for work, and they usually rent empty apartments without any furnishings. So with a population of 9.89 million, it's a very, very rich country and the e-commerce penetration is really high. The problem is the prices are also high as well. So what you want to do is you should go into home decor category here. You should target expats. You should use US English, so US keywords. And people don't have a lot of choice when it comes to home decor. And if you check the category, it's still going to be a couple thousand products when it compared to the US marketplace. It's basically nothing. So what you should do is like you should target expats. You should target that using home decor, cushions, pillows, basically everything for the apartments that people need. And if you can offer them a little bit lower price than what they could get in the store, I'm pretty sure you can score big. Second thing is Amazon Sweden. So Amazon Sweden is the third largest country in European Union area, and it's really interesting because it has so many different e-commerce stores already, like IKEA, H&M, and Nelly. Top selling products are beauty and health products, books, media, home electronics, home and furniture, of course, because of IKEA. And it's really interesting because they also opened a warehouse in Eskilstuna, which is close to Stockholm, and people are very much interested in this marketplace. We've had sellers who came and decided to translate their whole catalogs. So we're yet to see what Amazon Sweden can offer, but I'm pretty sure with online sales with 8.24 billion in 2019 and even bigger in during and after pandemic, it's going to be a really good test marketplace for you to try out. Poland has been, I think, the most trending from the all new marketplaces. We've had sellers translate their absolute whole catalogs with thousands of ASINs to this marketplace. And this is not a surprise because basically, like when it comes to e-commerce, Poland has always been present. They are very well placed in the middle of Europe. There were a lot of e-commerces that even before Amazon, they had their e-commerce stores, they had their warehouses, and Poland has 12,000 online stores, which is such a big number for this country. And also having one of the top marketplaces in the world, just like right after Shopee and Tmall, Allegro.pl is just a record of its own. And Zalando, one of the leading European marketplaces, also expanded to Poland and Sweden and Spain before Amazon did that. So they were kind of one step ahead. So there's definitely something going on, which is going to be very, very interesting to look out for in Sweden and Poland. And I suggest going there first, even if you don't score sales. I suggest going there first because you will definitely have that beginning edge. Amazon Turkey is the newest marketplace to roll out. And what's very interesting is that kitchenware and utensils, they are successful in each marketplace, but not in Turkey. Like, for instance, personal care and cosmetics, consumer electronics, this is something that works a lot, but not kitchen utensils. And also, what's very interesting is that if you want to go and advertise your products on different social media channels, you should not do it like Instagram or Facebook that much, but they're really, really big on YouTube. So, what I would suggest is getting in touch with some YouTube influencers and getting your product placed over there. What's very interesting when it comes to different marketplaces and how products do not work on all of them, such as Japan, like having a bestseller in the US doesn't mean it's going to be great on all marketplaces, and how you should definitely adjust your product to your target audience is I'm going to tell a story about Starbucks. Now, I don't think there's a single person that doesn't love Starbucks, either their merch or coffee. But one whole continent that doesn't love Starbucks is Australia. So, interestingly enough, Starbucks launched a lot of different coffee shops all around Australia, and they were offering their usual products. And interestingly enough, Australian coffee culture is nowhere close to the US coffee culture. So they don't like to drink long black coffees, like they don't use pour overs. They're more of an Italian espresso coffee culture. So Starbucks did not offer any of the specialized products. They were just going with their regular US top selling products and coffees. And Australians hated that. So basically, like a year or maybe 2 years later, Australia had to close. Starbucks had to close all of their Australian coffee shops because they were just not likable to the target audience. So this is just a lesson to see that even Starbucks, who's this enormous giant dominating worldwide, is not going to make it big just because it's a US giant that has a good product. So you have to localize, you have to adjust to a target audience, which leads us to localization, which is very, very important. And when it comes to different styles and different marketplaces and audience, I always like to compare US market versus the German marketplace. And if I could use one word to describe German marketplace, it would be this one. Rindfleisch Etikettierungs Überwachungsaufgaben Übertragungsgesetz, which means this. So basically, this sums up all the complications you can have in German language structure and basically everything about this marketplace. When we compare US style, which is very salesy and fluffy, there is nothing more different than German style. So if you were to translate your listing from US English to German, you definitely should not translate your listing as it is and keep the same style, because it would not be well received from the German audience. For instance, if you want to say passion, we go beyond care, which is something that Payoneer, payment service provider, wanted to present at one of the conferences in Germany. We had to change that to passion, we go beyond customer service, because care is kind of too emotional for the German audience. It doesn't sound like you're having a professional service. Or even the second example, humility, we go beyond assumptions. We have to change that to respect. We live up to what we promise our customers, because the word humility is even worse than care, because nobody wants to see a humble service provider. That doesn't sound professional at all. When it comes to Germans, they're very straightforward. They want to get straight to business. Tell me the benefits of your product, how it solves my problems, and I'll be the judge of that, if it's like a good or not, or if it's like better than others, or if it's like the best one in the category. This example here illustrates the difference between these styles most. So this was a glass espresso cup, and the first bullet starts with cool, cooler, coolest, trying to kind of play with the language a little bit, emotionally get in touch with the audience. But Germans just don't like that. So Germans just say elegant und stilvoll, which means elegant and stylish. Or third bullet, which says own the enigma. Just like that old chip in a bottle your granny had, these mini glasses are sure to prove a talking point. Germans just, changed the whole that to be thermoisolates glass, which means thermo-isolated glass. So it means it won't burn your fingers and you'll enjoy your cup of coffee, which basically sums it all up. Like, how does this product have any benefits, and how would I benefit from using this product? So those are some of the things to very, very consider a lot. Of course, it really depends on like what sort of product you have. If you're selling baby toys, of course, there's going to be some certain level of getting in touch emotionally with your audience, but there's like a really, really um, big limit. Like you should really pay attention to how you are presenting your product that way. Also, some of the words that you should definitely avoid is get it now, adorable, super cute, pamper yourself in luxury, and similar style. So this is something that's not going to fly in Germany. And I don't know if you know this, but Germany, out of all of the other European marketplaces, gives out the most refunds. So if the clients think that they are buying something that they're actually not getting what they think they are reading from your content, they're going to return it, and you'll have to refund them the money, definitely. Also, when it comes to localization and differences, if this example says you don't need green fingers. So green fingers, it basically means you're good at agriculture, you can plant a lot of flowers and seeds, you're very successful at it. But if you translate this as it is in Germany, if you translate it with the grüne Finger, with a finger, you will not get anything. You're not going to get the same meaning. What you basically need to translate is with green thumbs. So you have green thumbs in Germany means that you are actually good in planting your flowers, but not fingers. When it comes to styles in France, Spain, Japan, and Italy, it's pretty much the same. There's no fluffy and salesy style in any of these, and people just don't want to buy a product that is too good to be true. When it comes to Japan, sizing is very, very important, being very clear about ingredients, and they just hate when you kind of tell them you're gonna look so good in this t-shirt, or this t-shirt is gonna make you fashionable, or this is going to be better than other products. Like they really hate that. And sizing is very important, especially because of clothing, because they have different sizes. Like medium size in Europe and in the US is not the same medium size in Japan as well. So that's very important. But overall, just trying not to sell products that sounds too good to be true is always a good guideline for selling in Europe. And especially if you're coming from the US and maybe you have already had your Mexican listing, do not try to put the Mexican Spanish and place it for sale in Spain, in Europe, because Spanish European citizens are very, very picky when it comes to their language. They're very sensitive when they see this is like a South American, Mexican, and Spanish, and they don't like to see that. So be very careful with placing your listings in Europe if you're already having something done in the States or Mexico or Canada. Also, Canadian French is not the same as European French. They also have to pay attention to that. When it comes to packaging, this is a very, very important update. So not until recently, it was not important to have different languages in your packaging. But ever since January, Amazon has been pushing this. And we've had some sellers that had their products stopped and not being shipped to their, for instance, French warehouse, because on that label, on the packaging label, they did not have any information written in French. So how people solve this problem is basically having peel and seal with like 5 different languages or 6 different languages, just like a short description of the packaging on the back. And this is how you get your product to all the countries that you want to sell to. But this is very, very important. Don't forget packaging, different languages when you are sending the product elsewhere. Also, when it comes to sending your product to Germany from the UK now after Brexit, people have reported a lot of problems and a lot of slow process, which is still ongoing. So what a lot of people are doing, they're sending their products via Netherlands. When you send your products via Netherlands to Germany, you don't need the VAT or anything. You can just send your products like that, and they will reach Germany in about 2 weeks. What is very important, as I previously said, is to convey the right message to your audience and have them understand that. This is a really good example of that. So on the left, we have a US listing saying pasta like in Bella Italia. But if you want to serve this to Italians, you're not going to say pasta like in Bella Italia, because Bella Italia to Italian doesn't mean anything. So we changed this to pasta as good as your nonna or their grandma made, which means that this is a homemade meal. It's a proof of quality and tradition and something which is true Italian. Keywords, very good topic, because you would not be able to sell your products without keywords. You would not be able to sell product without keywords in your PPC campaigns, and it's equally as important as you have them in your listings. So definitely when it comes to international marketplaces, Helium 10 is our go-to tool. But if you want to try out some other things, you have Sonar, which is basically a free tool, and you can have to try out AMZ Suggestion Expander. AMZ Suggestion Expander is this little cool tool. It's actually an add-on for Google Chrome, and so what you can do there, you can basically just write the main keyword, and you're gonna get this drop-down menu with keywords coming before and keywords coming after. You can get really good keywords idea that way. This is really interesting when you're entering a new marketplace and you don't have that many competitors, because all of these other tools, they take the information from other competitors and they integrate that into their search and results. So what to do when you don't have a lot of competitors or not happy with results? I would say always combine Helium 10 results with AMZ Suggestion Expander. One very important thing to know about keywords is that they're not the same on all marketplaces. And what's very, very interesting is that there are a lot of different articles which come between keywords. So a lot of time, if you're like, let's say, looking for the Spanish keyword, espátula coquina, pardon my Spanish, I do not speak Spanish, I hope you understand this. You're gonna have this to put this de in between to make sense, because the keyword without this de in between doesn't make much sense, and you will have to use it at the back end. But this is a high search volume keyword and highly relevant one, so why put it in the back end? Why not put it in front end listing? And you would think that by putting this article de in between, that you will ruin the keyword and it will not be the same keyword, but you are wrong. This keyword with putting de in between of the two main words is not going to change anything, and it's going to give you absolutely the same products, is going to have absolutely the same results. So when it comes to Spanish and when it comes to French, if you have the keyword, which is great, but somebody tells you like, well, should not be used like this, we need to have this de in between for French and de for Spanish, you can use basically de, a, and pour in between for French, and you can use in Spanish de and pour, and it will not change the significance of the keyword, and it will be definitely use the same keyword as you're getting in your table. Second of all, is one problem with Helium 10 is that it sets word count as number 2. So you will basically get 2 different keywords in your results. So if we take, for instance, like Pincel set, this is a makeup brush. So let's say that your word count is set on 2, as it is by default. These are the results you're going to get. So they're going to be like a lot of different results, 6,000 keywords that you can, pick from. And you would think like, okay, this is everything that my competitors are doing. This is just, what I'm going to do as well. But what you should basically do, and you saw that chunky big keyword, because this is how German language works. It has a lot of big, those compound keywords. They're not going to be shown in this result unless you go back, set word count as 1, and then do the search again. And then you're going to get some of the keywords that you'll be missing on. As you can see here, these are like top 10 keywords for this product, which you will be missing out on because you didn't do the keyword research properly. When it comes to restricted words, when talking about German language, some of the restricted words are Velcro and Linderung. Linderung basically means soothing. So it doesn't even say it cures, but even soothing says that it should not be used. In Italian, scotch is also the trademark word. And mocho. Mocho is a mop, which is quite weird because you have the whole mochi category, but the word mocho is trademark and it's not allowed to be used. When it comes to Spanish, like in Mexican marketplace, fidget is trademark and it's also not supposed to be used. When it comes to sounds that are still allowed, you could still pull off caps lock in European marketplaces. We haven't seen any sellers till this date getting pulled down listings just because they use bullets in caps lock. So I think this is going to fly for a long time. Also, HTML ends in the UK, but it's still allowed in Europe. I understand Amazon is pushing a brand registry, but HTMLs will still going to be allowed in Europe, so you can still use those in those HTML codes that are going to make your HTML look nice. Global reviews are back, which have been down for some time, but they're very good to have them back, because if you have like 10,000 reviews on the US marketplace, if you decide to go to Germany, you're going to have that starting edge because your reviews are going to be 10,000 more than maybe your competitors. So this is something to think about. If you have a really good best-selling product, if you have tons of reviews, maybe just do it and go and sell internationally. But be careful, because you can restart honeymoon, but you cannot restart your reviews. So whatever you're doing, whenever you decide to launch, make a business plan and make a strategy. We've also seen a lot of missed opportunities when it comes to products on different marketplaces, and I'm going to tell you two of those. One is that wooden toys are selling like crazy in Germany, not plastic ones, but wooden toys. And second thing is that, for instance, when you go to brand analytics and when you go to the frequent search terms and check the portable ACs, there are probably 3,000 or maybe even like lowerly ranked in the US. But in Germany, they're ranked as number 7, which basically means that people are having huge demand for those in Germany, whereas the US is just like people are not that interested. And for instance, that is because there is global climate problems. Like climate is getting warmer and warmer, and people in Germany, they need to buy portable ACs, because usually in Germany you would not get an AC system in buildings and in houses because it was not this warm earlier in time. So people are striving to buy the portable ACs, definitely. Or for instance, another interesting product for the German marketplace is smartwatch. So smartwatch is on the 15th place of frequency search term, and in the States it's like beyond like 1,000 or something, and also in the UK it's going to go like around 500. And even if you compare the UK and the US search terms, and I strongly suggest you do this in brand analytics, you will see that not all products that are bestsellers in the US will work equally good in the UK, even though it's the same language and some people just use US keywords on the UK marketplace. But I strongly suggest you against doing that and doing the keyword research for each marketplace separately. This is a must, not translating keywords, because it doesn't mean that this keyword combination exists on other marketplace or that it's equally ranked high as it is on the marketplace you translated this product to. So thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to do a feedback of your already translated listing, which might be underperforming, and we'll tell you why. Thank you so much.